City of El Paso's loss of some $40 million on fast-track transportation projects has been making headlines lately.
Our Maria Garcia followed up and found a deeper flaw with the way local transportation dollars have been allocated. It's a story you'll see only on ABC 7.
Every local government in El Paso County depends on federal dollars to help fund transportation projects. The Metropolitan Planning Organization receives federal funds for road projects and prioritizes them. More than 30 state and local office holders and managers make up the MPO and compete for those federal dollars.
The MPO had this deficiency.
For years, though, the MPO operated in a way that alarmed the Federal Highway Administration.
There were instances where agencies were applying for federal funds. The federal funds were being committed to them, but then they weren't starting the projects.
Right.
Michael Medina is the executive director of the MPO. He says federal dollars were awarded, but local governments didn't always start those projects promptly.
This is a continuous problem that we've had.
For example, the city of El Paso was awarded more than $10 million to redo downtown streets. The city applied for the money more than 10 years ago, and the feds committed the money in 2009, making it out of reach for other cities. Yet construction never started.
And it kept on getting shuffled from fiscal year to fiscal year.
Right.
It wasn't ready to be submitted, and it just got nudged along. Oh, we'll get the environmental done next year.
After more than 10 years with no major progress from the city, the MPO moved the money to another transportation project in Clint.
Ultimately, if we don't comply to those recommendations or address the corrective actions, the federal government can cease allowing us to use federal aid, and so our transportation projects stop.
There's no question that projects that were not ready were being submitted. And if you look at which ones were being submitted, they were the ones that were being talked a lot about by the city council.
The city now says many projects were submitted because of pressure from council, even though environmental and historic reviews weren't ready. In the case of downtown streets, the city didn't even begin design and environmental review for the project until 2013, almost 5 years after the money had been committed. So why did the MPO award the funds?
The MPO was not complying with the federal requirements.
Until recently, the city had more influence on a powerful subcommittee than other governments. They had 5 members, allowing them to better move city requests along. Now they have 2. And the biggest fix? With Commissioner Vince Perez as chairman, the MPO reformed its selection process to include an objective scoring system based on project readiness. That translated into a rush of faulty applications submitted by the city.
When enforcement started at the MPO and when the new management came in, that was no longer allowed, and the city just didn't adapt fast enough to that change.
This is not unique to the city of El Paso. I mean, there have been instances where we have to reprogram projects because they're not meeting those milestones now.
Millions of dollars, and years later, the MPO now tracks projects to ensure they're done on time. Maria Garcia, ABC 7.
And that downtown street project money I just told you about has now been pushed to 2017.
In the wake of the Chattanooga incident last week that left 5 members of the military dead, Texas Governor